Welcome, welcome, chess fans. It's another Chess Rivals. Me and Fins0905. You know him as John Bartholomew. Number one in the Chess Rivals series so far. Also number one in your hearts. I know. You don't have to tell me you're rooting for John. I get it. Everyone likes to root against loudmouth Danny, right? I mean, I'm kind of rooting against myself too, so I get it. I haven't played a Con Sicilian since before the West was won, man. So this should be fun. I used to play this line much more often, and that's because it was popular, more popular than it is now for a while. And one of the funny ideas here is this whole little knight thing I just did, designed to sort of gain a tempo. You lose a tempo by letting him kick your knight back, but then you gain a tempo by playing c4 here. And then when he plays b4, I'm going to play knight to c2 and hit the pawn. And now I have some idea with c5 coming. That's one of the points. One of the points that he has to be careful about. Yeah, so he's not thrilled about playing a5. He doesn't want to give up the b5 square. But now also the d6 pawn is a little weak. So I'm going to put this rook on c1 and prepare for some tactics with c5. If c5, knight takes, queen takes, I move my knight to get a discovery on the queen. Doesn't look like it's quite delivering what I want. So first I'm going to play h3 to make sure I can keep the bishop on this diagonal. This is sort of a positional way to play the line. I have a sort of a Maroczy bind structure here with the two pawns in the center. Now he plays a5, but that's okay, because if he plays a4, I'm going to bring my knight to d4 and b5. And I don't know that that's the best for him. It is the best for him if I'm going to blunder, though, right? Yeah, there you go. Okay, but what should I do? If I play knight there, takes, he takes f4, I guess I get the b4 pawn. Or should I play bishop there and make him give up the e pawn? Takes the rook, he takes, I take there. Well, that was a blunder. Another good position gone bad. I hate when I do that. But this is still funky monkey. I'm going to put my knight on c6. It's not that simple yet. I mean, my biggest worry right now, honestly, is time. More than I am worried about my position, because I think it's kind of unclear. Even with my blunder. Hold a tick. Is that bishop on c8 hanging, or are you just happy to see me, buddy? Should I go after the a pawn? We'll go after the a pawn. It's also possible I should have gone after the f-pawn. To be careful, he's probably going to sack this f-pawn and destroy my king side. So, have to be careful here. But this is a wild, wild position, right? He's getting under a little bit of time pressure. Hey, everybody. Happy to see you. I haven't recorded in a while. People have been complaining on Twitter. Danny, where'd you go? Danny, we're bored. I know. You root against me, but you still want me to be there. I see how it is. I get it. What if Atlas shrugged, okay? You know, when it comes to these crazy YouTube chess videos. Yeah, I knew he was going to do that. I'm not thrilled about it. Now he's going to put the knight on e5. I'm going to have to put my bishop back on f1 and guard h3, I think. Okay, am I really that worried about that? He's going to take the g-pawn. I'd love to meet that move dynamically somehow. He's going to go and take that g-pawn, but I also have the d6 pawn hanging. So I'm going to... Alright, I'm just going to play here. My queen still guards f2. I wanted to actually do something different. I wanted to move my bishop and let him take g3 and then gobble up the d6 pawn. But I got scared. I gave in to my fear. Never good to give in to your fears. Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only realize the truth. There is no spoon. Then you will see it is not the spoon that bends, but it is only yourself. I'm not sure that's really applicable here, but hey, I went with it. Uh-oh. Let's see what he's doing. I see what he's doing. He's going after that e-pawn. Let's kick the bishop out. Now, what I'd love to do is something different than this. I'd love to do something. Okay, what's the time? Time on the tickety is a little bit scary. I know he's going after that pawn. I don't like how dangerous those pieces are. This looks very, very scary for me. I'm getting checkmated. How sweet is that? We have to let him do it, obviously. That was pretty sweet. Well, that was strange, right? I felt pretty good about the opening. Something went wrong. If you're wondering what we're doing here, yeah, this is a 3-0 rival session. 3 minutes instead of bullet, which should be fun. We're going to play first to 5 wins. Or sorry, first to 5 points, including draws, instead of, the past as we played first to 6, right? So we cut it by a game just because it's 3-0. That was interesting. He's probably just sitting there gloating right now about checkmating me. I get it, John. But I think I had a pretty good opening, and I will repeat that if he allowed it. I think I have a big advantage when I play e4. He doesn't get good openings, and I think he'd probably agree with that. Getting some slight advantages consistently, but where it goes from there is another story, right? You don't always convert in blitz, and you have to learn to deal with that. We will play this sort of weird Tarrasch way where I'm positionally a little bit worse and aware of it. Positionally worse and aware of it. That should be the title of my autobiography. Positionally worse and loving it. I'm positionally worse and aware of it. Now he's taking more time than I did to start last game. I'm just going to castle. He's going to move his knight to e4, probably, to avoid me gobbling it up. And I want to find a way to dynamically just give up the c-pawn because it's a weak pawn compared to his, so positionally he's better. We're all aware of that. So I'm not really trying to hold on to the b-pawn per se. Or the c-pawn. I'm trying to use the activity of my pieces here and let that be the compensation I get. So now he wants to play e4. That's what he was threatening with that. That's what I need to work on, is just not blundering. Like, hey, every time your opponent makes a move, ask yourself why they went there. Pretty good advice, right? Something I think I learned at one time, a long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, back when I acknowledged and followed the rules of fundamentally sound chess. He plays there because he's going to play bishop f1, huh? It's a little irritating. If knight b6, bishop f1, I can take a4, he takes, I take, he takes. Put the rook on d8. It's a little strange, right? I'm going to go for that endgame, actually. I'm going to go for that endgame. I think I get my knight to c3 and get the d file. And if he takes, of course, I'm going to take back with the queen to avoid the skewer. So he goes for it. We'll go for it. I'm going to play this way. Grab the d file, keeping up the pace on time. And my goal, of course, is that if I can put the pony on c3 and force him to relinquish control over the d file. Okay, but he's going to go gobble up the a pawn. I guess he is. Nothing I can do about that. Oh, I can't play knight e2. Duh, that was stupid of me. That was silly of me, though I probably should have played bishop c3 there. I don't know what I was calculating there. That's pretty obvious that didn't work out for me. Pretty obvious that it wasn't going to work out for me. All right, I honestly just forgot the bishop was guarding e2. Thought he wasn't able to challenge the c file so quickly. Okay, so now if I play rook to d8, he's going to play rook to c7. I try to free my back rank. He's not exactly winning on the spot, right? So I play something like g5 here. I have to be careful. He has f3 at some point too, though. He's going to take a7, which is also part of the problem. Darn it. Don't like where this is headed. Don't like where this is headed. He's just going to take a7 now. Ugh. Don't think this is working out very well for me, is it? Yeah, resigns. All right, time to pull it together. It's first of 5 games, and that we're not off to a good start. 0-2, and I don't even feel like we're learning anything, which is really the problem here. Do I care about winning? Not nearly as much as I care about you learning. You calling BS on that? Yeah. There's a lot for you to learn from. Doesn't need to be my chess games, all right? If you want to learn, go to school. All right, let's play e4 again and see what slightly dubious defense he plays against the king pawn game today. Back to his old tricks. I love calling his openings dubious. It's funny because all the fans on Bartholomew's page would be like, John, he's calling your openings dubious, dude. Ugh, what are you going to do about that, man? What are you going to, man? But you keep winning in it. And John's like, I don't really care, you know. Um, but it is a chess rivalry, so that's what we want. Everybody wants the people to be unhappy, rooting for rooting for someone. AZ Chess for Charity, little charity thing. Shout out. Make sure you donate to charity from time to time in your life. Makes you feel good. Yeah, so he'll go for this stuff. I don't even care. We'll go get that guy. You want to trade? We'll trade. Help me develop my pieces with tempo. I'm always happy about that. I have an idea. Oh, I'd love to just sacrifice that e-pawn and get the d-file. I'm going to do it. I'm doing it, Peter. I feel like Mikel Tao right now. I'm hoping he has struggles developing and getting castled, but maybe my pawn sack is not as strong as I had hoped. All right, I'll go for it anyway. Strange, right? He has a little bit of trouble getting developed. Not sure I can really keep up this initiative, though. The bishop on e5 stops the bishop on f8 from getting out. He understands that, so that's why he plays there. I'd like to play for f4 and f5. But what exactly does it do would be a good question. I don't really want to lose my bishop for that knight. It's not my favorite thing that could ever happen to this position. Not working out right now, is it? This bluff at compensation. Not really working out very well. Yep, and here comes knight to c5. So I guess I have to trade. He's going to play g6. Now he wants to bring the rook into d4. So I'll offer a trade. He'll take and play b6, which stops c5, which makes sense. Oh, no, he doesn't. Plays b6 right away, huh? How can I mobilize my bishop to come after the light squares in some way? I don't know, honestly. Where's he going with that pony? I'm not sure. Ah, he wants to play e5? Possibly. No, he's coming around. I might go this way, though. I might run this route. Okay, should I... I would love to take and then play bishop d5. That might make it a little hard for him, because it hits f7. So now if I take, I can bring the king back and go get b5. What's he threatening? I don't know. I don't think he's threatening anything. Uh-oh, I didn't see that. How the hell did I win that game? I have no idea. That was like just complete luck. My bishop was somehow staying on the board with his knight. I had no business winning that game. But okay, sometimes you're able to just hold when you have maybe the slightly better minor piece. His knight was never got into an ideal position. And the one long-term chance I had was that all of his pawns were stuck to these light squares, as we saw became an issue later on, right? But even with that said, I certainly had no business winning. I think the big mistake was he didn't see this idea. He didn't see this idea where I was bringing my king to a4 and then into b5. That was clearly where things went wrong for him. As soon as I started... as soon as I executed that plan, things went a little bit haywire for black. Things got a little nutty for black after that. All right, this is all Catalan theory, more or less. Black tries to play e5 because otherwise you block the c-pawn, which is a positional mistake, yeah? Ooh, I would have loved for him to just take on b7 right away. I would have just played c6, no doubt. No doubt I would have just played c6 and let him get the rook and gone for a light square attack. But this has not gone the way it was supposed to for him. He did not take the right approach in this one. I've already got real pressure with my queen and knights over there with all kinds of in and outs coming in on these checks, right? That's the phrase I like to use when pieces get going on your fianchetto squares. That's like uninvited in-laws to dinner. It's never fun when they show up uninvited. You get it. Is he serious right now? Should I just take and just go for the attack? He's obviously doesn't like his position, so he's trying to kind of mix it up a little bit. I don't know that I get enough to justify the sack, but I'm going to do it anyway. Don't know that I really get enough to justify the sack, but I think his position is still very dangerous nonetheless. So I'm doing it. I'd like to get the f2 pawn under target. I'm trying to decide if that's going to involve bringing the bishop in, or if that's like a check on h2, retreat the queen to h4 to free up the h2 square for the knight. You want to overload his queen guarding f2. So if I check and he moves, and then I play bishop h4, he plays bishop e1. See, I don't have enough. But if I play bishop h4 right away, and then he plays there, I have queen over. That might work, right? See, because he doesn't have f4 there because the e3 pawn hangs with check. So now exactly what I'm threatening, I'm not sure 100%. But I'm hoping to be threatening something here at some point. That's a good move by him. I don't really want to give up the d file, but I think I kind of have to. If rook d3 takes take, is there any advantage to removing the queen from guarding f2? If queen h2 check, king f1, knight takes e3 check, f takes... I don't see anything. So we go for this. I worry about my back rank, of course. Not going to lie. If I check, he moves. Seems so scary for him, doesn't it? Wait a second. Can I take the rook? And then take e1? Oh, I would love to do that. Take the rook, take e1, bishop f1. Bishop takes with check. He moves up. I give check. And then I take the queen. I'm going to do it. I know it's probably losing. But if king h1 takes f1, I have this knight e3 check coming in a whole bunch. I don't think he saw this idea for sure. Now I'm taking with check, and then I'm playing knight e3 anyway. That was a blunder by him. That was a huge blunder. Now he's just lost. Wow. Look at that attack, right, everybody? That worked out relatively well. And if he had played king here right away, my idea was knight check and then takes here, and I'm up the exchange anyway, so okay. So that would have also gone relatively okay. Let's switch to d4 and see how he likes the Veresov. Or we'll play something traditional. Aha, no, we will certainly transpose back into this stuff. I like this stuff. This is strange. I don't know that either one of us ever played this way. The point, everybody, is if he plays knight f5, I'd like to get g4 at some point. He's kind of calling my bluff, because if g4 takes right away, he moves the knight. Might be hard for me to guard g4. And you know what? I think he's going to win that battle. I think I'm not going to do it right away. But I am going to bring my knight to f3, where it gangs up on h4. And at some point, that might be useful. With the knight and bishop on h4, though he's obviously stopped me from advancing the pawns. I'm not sure it's that great for him otherwise. So now we're going to bring this knight around. Probably our real threat is bishop d3 here, to try to chop off that guy. Guard b2, bishop d3, see if we can go chop off that knight and win the h4 pawn. Looks like we can. But we can't do it right away. Wow, strange stuff by all involved, right? Strange stuff by everyone. Yeah, it's definitely scary right now. This is scary. I'm not going to lie. Hoping to make something magical happen on the dark squares. And it's not outside of the realm of possibility. If I take there and play g4, he moves the rook. We get in there with check. It's a very weird position, right? It's a very, very weird position. Huh. I don't see it amounting to anything immediately, though. All right, I'm going to go for it. I don't know quite what to do here. I don't like my position. I don't like the way my position is headed. So I'm playing for something a little bit. Check, he moves. Check, he moves. He's going to run away. So I'm going to try to do something awkward against his king. Again, I'm just trying to perform surgery on the dark squares, that's all. Oh, he has knight e4. Oh, that's a strong move if he sees it. Darn it. See, now he can take. Now he can take on b4 with check, which is a real problem for me. Yeah. All right, we're going to give this check. This check, come back. If I win this one, it'd be a miracle. I don't feel good about my sack. That was just that was a tad unnecessary. You can play bishop e6 now. Ooh, he trades queens, but is that a good idea? I don't know if that was a good idea at all. But I didn't play it very well right there. I really blew that. I should have just played d5. I definitely should have played d5. I don't think it was very simple for him, in fact. I really, really don't. Right now, the luck is turning around. But I have to see what would have happened if I had played d5. What would have happened if I had played d5 instead? I mean, this is not very simple at all. What was I thinking? Look at that. Two passed pawns. He can't coordinate in the same way. All right. Yeah, that was my first instinct, and I underestimated it wasn't the blockade, it was that his bishop was taking a2. That's what I forgot about. So now we're in an IMZO, but the Chess Rivals match is on here today. We have a real battle on our hands right now. I'm not sure I've ever led after more than a few games, right? I've never led after a few games. I've always been behind, so I don't know that I'm going to be leading today, but I think that I have a decent chance, considering that I've had some lucky breaks. Some lucky breaks this week. I have to be very careful. To be very, very careful here. That pin on the D file is nobody's business. Not kidding around with that pin on the D file. Rook C8 feels natural, so I'll play it. Not sure it does that much. John and I have a very similar style as far as these openings go. I don't know what that's about. Isn't that a pawn? Hanging on E4? Very strange decision by him. Okay, well, now I'm also not super worried about any discoveries anymore. I'm threatening bishop g5 in some positions, FYI. So if he plays f3, I have bishop there. If he takes, I take with my knight. Bishop there takes with the knight. He moves the. If he hasn't moved the queen somewhere random, I have bishop e3 check, and that's devastating. But he can play queen to d3. Bishop g5 takes, queen d3 takes, rook takes c3. I'm probably a little bit better there. In the position with the rook and 2 pawns for the 2 pieces, because it's pretty wide open. But it doesn't seem necessary, right? Bishop g5 takes. Because you see, now I can play this move. And when he plays f4, I can just back up to f6. And there's no real discoveries coming with his pony. The question is, if he plays bishop f3, can I play bishop e4 and just laugh in the face of danger and not be afraid of any of the discoveries? It's possible. But okay, have to be careful here, even still. If knight e4 is there discoveries. Moves the knight, I take. Moves the knight, I take. Moves the knight anywhere. Looks like I'm taken, right? So knight e4. If he plays bishop f3, seems a little scary. Okay, well, he's up on time now. This is the opposite of some of the other games, right? He's a little worse, but he's up on time. For some reason, I'm getting really nervous about this discovery, but I don't have a safe place for the queen, really. Maybe just rook to d8. I'll play rook to d8. What's that about? I don't even know what that's about. I can take on c3. He's knight e7 check. I don't have anything. He's just playing fast. He's beating me down on time. I got to play faster. That's what he's doing. He's playing fast. Good strategy when you're down a pawn. Darn it. I'm down way too much on time right now. Ugh, down too much on time. I got totally nervous. Well, he returned the favor. I won a game I had no business winning, and then he did the same. So that's how it works sometimes in life, right? He played significantly faster, which was his goal going into that game. I will play this again, and this time I will not blunder. This time I will not blunder a piece with the fork on f4, or e5, so to speak. That is my goal. I want to play f4 at some point. One of the key points is the reason why they don't develop the knight there is because you put the bishop on h6 and stop castling. But this is becoming weird town, right? Weird for everybody. And I've got him thinking again, which is really, it's right where I want him. It's right where I like my Johnny, is thinking. Play a3, something weird. See how he wants to deal with that. These overextended pawns. I'm going to play f4 at some point. I'm not really afraid of the bishop trade, you see, because I'll go there. If he wants to take it, ooh, he doesn't. He doesn't want any part of taking that, I guess, huh? I'll go ahead and play f4 now. He takes, I take, he takes everything. In the end, we have this issue with... So I'll play a4 to cement my knight and cripple / separate his pawns. Now he wants to go after the e4 pawn, so that's his point. But if I play bishop there, he takes, I take. It's getting very, very dynamic, right? So maybe I'll just play f3. Because I don't know that he's going many places as far as being a little bit worse here. Put the bishop on that diagonal, who knows? Maybe I'll checkmate him in some weird way. Right? Always nice to have a bishop on a diagonal. Should we unpin the king? Let's unpin the knight. Prophylactic thinking. Prophylaxis. Aha. That's kind of irritating. I'm not thrilled about having to play that move. I still want to play f4. You know what I mean? But I'm just worried about my e-pawn. But I feel like I can build up to getting f4 in. Oh, I should have played it last move. If f4, knight d7, knight g4, and I'm threatening mate. If he moves the rook, I have an attack. I forgot about knight g4. Man, f4 was really strong last move, but I think he sees it now. I think he's nervous. He's probably going to consider taking the knight here, which is not ideal for him, but he might have to relieve some of the pressure. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling. But I'm going to take this way to free up the c4 square for my knight. Now we play f4, put the knight on c4, start kicking him back. Tell me this doesn't feel right. I'm also taking here. Just blundered. Okay, he didn't. Maybe it wasn't a blunder after all. Don't take time, Danny. You're just winning. You have the bishop pair. Great position. Stop taking time. Just move. Yes, sir. I hear you loud and clear, sir. Talking to myself. So I would love to just take it, but I have back rank issues, so we don't. We back up. Isn't that bad for him? Hello, McFly. Doesn't seem like the ideal scenario now for him. Queen. And just like that, the match continues. The match continues. I like that opening. At least this time I put my talking where my mouth is, that I had a good position last time before my blunder. And I will play that against him again. He's going to do this again. I haven't figured out the best way to approach this yet, have I? I don't think so. Maybe I'll go for a further simplification of the position now. Something a little more straightforward. Simple chess. E5. Develop out. He wants to put the knight on c5. This is understandable. So we prepare to put pressure on e2. Put the rook on c8. It's not a good opening for him still. Bad c-pawn activity. I'm going to stop him from using the squares that he wants to use now. We'll just keep that bishop on that diagonal with an eye on the e2 pawn. An eye on the prize. Is he going to play c4? Let me into that d4 square? No, he doesn't want to. It's a good decision, I think. So now what should I do? Should I put the bishop there and prepare for c4, or just play a simple move here? Maybe I'm going to play knight e7 and knight f5, so I free up that square, but I'm also sort of just sitting on the position a little bit. So he plays c4. Now I'm going to go for this plan previously mentioned. Because if he backs up the bishop, I can just trade. Ooh, that looks okay for me. I'll let you give me the bishop here if you want to, buddy. We'll take with the queen. See, if he backed up the bishop, I was going to trade on d1 and maybe get the c4 pawn. But I still don't think this was the best decision for him to give me the bishop here like this, to be totally honest. But I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's just push that f5 pawn. That looks good. Interesting stuff, right? It's going to get wild now. He's going to put that knight on e6, but not before I pin it to the queen. And I prepare the move bishop to c5 now, which can't be good for him. Right? He needs to move the queen, but he also has to worry about f4, possibly. If f4 comes, takes, queen takes, the king is wide open. Yeah, that was a tough decision for him, but probably the right one. Now I'd still... Ooh, I can take. Take, he takes, and then I play bishop takes. Tempo on the rook. That's probably just winning, so I'll go for it. If I take... Wait a second, I can also push. I can also take, actually. Let's take it. I think I'll just take it again. If I play there, he gives check. He's not mating me. Right? So, yeah. I think so. Hope so. I don't want to lose a winning position here. Don't want to lose when I'm up a pawn. Oh, just blundered the bishop. What is wrong with me? Oh my god. Darn it. What is wrong with me? That was just so ridiculous. Ah, that's frustrating. My god. He did not deserve to win that game. Although maybe I was already in trouble here. No, I can just bring the bishop here. Ah, that was frustrating. Now he's back in the position he's all too familiar with, where all he needs is a draw to win. That was my game to win, everybody. Winning is black. Up a pawn for nada. Frustrating. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. Frustrated. I don't even know. I'll take it, I guess. Doesn't seem like the best thing that could have ever happened to black's position. Do we care? Let's play a4. He's trying to get his pawn back. He's probably going to get it back. But I'm just wondering if there's some sort of initiative to be gained in the process by me. Looks like not. Not anymore, anyway. All right, Danny, you got to let go of that last one. It's over, man. You were winning. Let it go. Psychologically, you got to do work with yourself, you know? Ugh, ugh, ugh. Frustrated with myself, but you got to let it go. It's unprofessional to be frustrated with games of the past. It's human, but it's unprofessional. You got to be focused in the moment. All right. What's going on here? I'm probably a little bit worse. Ah, he has rook to b8 coming, I see. Not thrilled about having to do this. I could have also just moved my bishop. But if I went to c4, he had 95 check, so... Now he does it anyway. Okay. Oh, this is scary. Feels like there's going to be bad tactics, right? Feels like there's some potentially bad tactics coming for me. If knight there... No, I feel like I need to try to clarify the tactics and make this simple. I'm probably worse, so... But okay, a draw wins for him anyway. What's the threat? Nobody knows. What's the threat? He's going to bring the other rook up to the b file, I guess. He wants to play knight to c4. I don't know. Have to play fast. Come on. Got to play fast to get back in this one. Scared to play this move. The knights just freak me out here, man. I'm freaking out. The knights are just freaking me out. That's the truth. Come back. I know he can give check and then take on d3. Ah, he has knight there, check. That's his idea. This is so scary. So scary. Not a lot of time. That was a good move by him. Feels like he's moving in for the kill. .3-0. 3-0 is not a lot of time. Uh-oh. Well, that was rough. That was rough. Man, I had a hard time with that one I lost. Had a hard time letting go of that one. But I tip my hat to another Chess Rivals won by John Bartholomew. Close games today. Probably some higher quality chess for the spectators, right? 3-0 chess. I think you would all agree that these games were interesting. And but had fun, despite the frustrating result again. This match was mine to win. Winning that game is black. That was it. Then you move on and have white. But it's hard. Had to win this last game anyway. So nothing really to it after getting a bad opening. But all right, we appreciate your time watching this video, and we hope that you'll follow us, Chess.com, and on Twitter. Find out when the next match is happening. Follow Finzo905 on Twitter too. We'll see you around, peeps.